So, anyways,
Your turn.
while we're at it, let's talk about one of my favorite bands here, Motorhead. And we've talked about Motorhead before in our Hall of Fame WWE video. A band that started in 1975. You've got Lemmy, who has been in the music business forever. He was a roadie for Jimi Hendrix. He, according to him, scored acid for Jimi Hendrix. He was, in a band in the 60s. He was in the band Hogren, which was a space rock band. Not exactly a metal band, but close enough, maybe. And then, of course, you got Motorhead. It's kind of, well, it's sad in a way because we lost Fast Eddie Clark. So now it's like all three original members are no longer here.
Yeah.
Lemmy, who continued on with Mickey D and Phil Campbell and some other ones I can't seem to remember. And that was just like very cool. And I remember watching Much Loud, and I was getting into metal. And I didn't know Motorhead that well when I heard Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
But a few weeks later, maybe a few months later even, my brother and I were watching wrestling, and Triple H, that's when he first was using the game as his theme music.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's like, because, he could call me on my bullshit, because I didn't really know. I tried to, but I didn't know. I was like, hey, who's this? And I can't remember my response, but later finding out that's Motorhead.
Yeah.
I mean, the band, was on WrestleMania twice.
Yes.
They did a lot of cool shit. They covered a lot of punk songs, the Sex Pistols, the Ramones, a lot of that. One of the most influential bands in history, Metallica was influenced by them. I'm sure Motley Crue was influenced by them. There was John Ramone's last interview. He was wearing a Motorhead t-shirt, so I'm sure they were influenced by the band. And wow, it was one of the best heavy metal bands there are, and there always will be. I mentioned I was in the hospital with pneumonia and listening to their last record. So that'll always stick with me forever. So, one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of strange because I've also got Motorhead on my list. And I had to know, like, I didn't realize Matt had Motorhead either, but hey, we both like Motorhead, what the hell. But I mean, I had this kind of cutesy little introduction to it. When I got to them, I was going to be like, well, my next band is a really good band, and something along those lines. And Matt just happens to be so conveniently wearing one of their shirts, and well, we're here now. But anyways, yeah, Motorhead is definitely one of those bands that certainly are going to remember for a while. Especially old Lemmy. And earlier was talking about, Steven Tyler was what stood out about Aerosmith and Freddie Mercury and Queen and Stephen Perry, Journey. Lemmy is for sure what made Motorhead Motorhead.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, that sound, there's a lot of bands and they have that distinct sound to their voice. And
Oh yeah.
Lemmy being the guy that, you know, smoking as many packs a day as he did, and
Drinking old Jack Daniels.
drinking Jack and Cokes and snorting that cocaine. Well, that was a lot of other bands, but this guy really fucking partied like no other. And, you know, it's kind of, you know, it wasn't a shock to me when he died, and that's kind of not very cool to say.
It's harsh to say, but at the same time, it's kind of the reality of it, too.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the guy who was like fucking God, you know, to the metal world. So, yeah, Motorhead's awesome, and, you know, Lemmy will be forever in our hearts, so, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, next for me, probably is going to be a bit of a coincidence, but it kind of is and it kind of isn't. It's a band I'm somewhat familiar with. Not entirely. I like a few of their songs. I could probably brush up on a little bit more of their songs. And it's probably one of those groups that you could probably take it or leave it. I chose Fozzy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
And what I mean by, like, as far as a coincidence is, like, Matt and I, of course, we talk about wrestling all the time. And, of course, Fozzy is Chris Jericho's band, but nevertheless, you know, they are a fairly good group.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Chris Jericho is he's very versatile. Like, he can be the biggest asshole as a heel, but also be really fun-loving,
Oh, yeah.
jokey, and whatever as a face. And also with that, he's a very good musician, and
Yeah.
being that guy that was in bands as a kid and all that other stuff, it's really cool to see that. And Fozzy really started off as a cover band,
Yeah.
playing a lot of stuff like Accept, doing Balls to the Wall, other songs. And, you know, as Chris got older, it was like, alright, well, I'm gonna just, you know, forget Moon Goose McQueen and I'll just use my real name. And so, yeah, Chris Jericho with Fozzy. And again, I don't really have the new album. I do have one of theirs, but they are fairly cool. I think that, I mean, he put it like they're a mix between Metallica and Journey, which I think is pretty awesome. So,
Yeah, a couple of songs that stick out in my mind for Fozzy was a song that was used for, I believe it was a NXT TakeOver, Judas.
oh yeah.
And then another song that stands out in my mind. I don't remember the title of the song, but I can distinctly visualize the video for it. The beginning of the video is they're on the roof of a building. They're looking over the edge down at the street. And then the song starts playing. They're playing along on the song, and throughout the video, you see there's this guy in a wheelchair, and he's at work, and I think he's getting bullied or pecked on or whatever. And the song's still going on, the video's going on, and near the end of the video, you see the guy get out of his wheelchair, and he's crawling up these stairs. And he gets to the top, and of course, it's leads up to the roof. And he crawls over to the edge of the roof, and he basically throws himself off the roof of the office to the straight below, and then you see the band Fozzy go over, and it essentially ends where it started. Like I said, I can't remember the name of the song, but like I said, that stands out in my mind. The video itself, I think it might have been on an Unforgiven 2007 maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably look it up and find it.
Yeah. So, oh fuck it. I'm gonna go with this guy right here. Now, like I don't just listen to rock and metal. I do enjoy rap from time to time. So, another person that, well, like coincidentally enough, a member of the WWE Hall of Fame,
Yes.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Deal Double Jizzle.
Snoop Dogg, Double Jizzle, Snoop Doggy Dogg and Hazel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this guy basically, started 26 years ago, or maybe even more than that. Was kind of raunchy lyrics shared by one of the best rappers there are, And there's really not too much I can say about him. I mean, that's basically not a huge good influence on children.
No.
But, this guy definitely is still one of the greats, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. He did appear, speaking of Metallica, on their MTV Icons. He tried to attempt to sing. He doesn't have the best singing voice, and I think that's a lot of rappers are like that.
Yeah. I mean, Snoop, of course, got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He did a few WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure everybody knows by now, he's Sasha Banks' cousin. And right now he hosts a show on, what is it, Much, I think, called Joker's Wild.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Doggy Dogg. Yeah, I really enjoyed his collaborations with Dr. Dre.
Oh, yeah.
If you've listened to Still, and there's another song I can't remember. It's Dr. Dre doing a bunch of stuff, collaborations with all the other rappers, but that was a pretty cool song back in the day. Amongst others, I mean, Snoop Dogg is, again, one of the greats. I'm not a huge fan of hip-hop, but I know enough, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Snoop Dogg and a few other rappers, and Stevie Wonder did
Wild Wild West.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yes. Anyways.
I have... My next pick is not necessarily a rock band or a metal band. They're not really like a metal band. They're, I don't know, in the middle, I guess, or something. But a band I really like. They're really good. And their songs, there's some of them that stick with you. Nickelback.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, they're not the most likable band. But
I mean,
I enjoy their music.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I really was a fan more so as a teenager. And yeah, I still like them. I just think that a lot of people, and I made a video a long time ago just about why would people hate Nickelback when there's a lot more bands out there, I guess. But And I don't know, it's mostly just the lyrics that they choose to sing about, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make too much sense. It's a different, I don't know, there are a lot of influence on metal music, but they're more along the lines of hard rock,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that, yeah, their lyrics are silly, but what else do you want? I mean, you look at bands in the 80s, and their music, like their lyrics, they don't make sense either, so it's like, I understand why people hate Nickelback, I guess. I don't know, I haven't listened to them in a while, but I don't hate them. I don't like them as much as I did back then, but that has nothing to do with anything.
See, talk about their lyrics being silly. We got songs like Rockstar. You got song Photograph.
Yeah, for the most parodied song ever.
This or few others I can't think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You listen to those songs and it's like, well, there's not really anything cheesy or corny or goofy about them. And I mean, how could you hate a band, a group, a band, whatever, that would put out a song to help aid a country after they had either an earthquake or friggin' tsunami, whatever the fuck it was. What was that, Haiti, I think it was? Yeah. But when we stand together is the song I was trying to think of. That's the song that Nickelback did for to raise funds, I think, or whatever, for it was either an earthquake or whatever that hit. I think it was Haiti or something like that.
Yeah. Trust me, dude, people will find excuses.
Yeah, well.
Unfortunately. I mean, I will say this, you know, Chad Kroger came on a radio show, and basically, I don't know how Stone Sour got into the conversation, but yeah, apparently Stone Sour is Nickelback, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, him and Corey Taylor, who one of another awesome rock star, you know, him and Chad going, it's like, come on.
Grow up.
Yeah, basically, but I can understand the frustration,
Yeah.
but at the same time, yeah, grow up.
Yeah.
But so the next singer on my list, you know, you talk about hip hop, let's go to country music.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to do country. And I'm not a fan of country music. I like certain songs, and I mean, like I mentioned before, I was a fan of country music when I was little, but I was also high. No, the Man in Black, Mr. Johnny Cash. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really a fan up until after I saw Walk the Line.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, yeah, you know what, this is pretty cool. I know a lot of people enjoyed his music. You know, a lot of people that kind of surprised me, but he's one of those individuals that, yeah, really had a hard life. You know, a true country singer. Like, I look at the bands today, like, no, the only ones I can think of were Georgia, Florida.
Florida Georgia Line?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care for that. But anyways, Johnny Cash is one of the originals, and this guy definitely went to prison. He had a drug addiction. He was an alcoholic. He was a diabetic. You know, you look at. There's a guy that also made two cover songs that are more popular than the originals, and Nine Inch Nails' Hurt, and Soundgarden's Rusted Cage.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, Nah, it's kind of one of those things where you look at these bands and you think that, wow, that cover is better than the original. But Johnny Cash is always going to be one of the best country artists out there, or gospel, whatever you want to call them.
Gospel. You can kind of put it to, yeah, they're gospel country.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Cash, that's a good one.
Yeah, I really, like I said, like a lot of bands, I was late listening to them. It's just another singer that, I don't know, there's something about his voice that really drew me
Yeah.
in as well. But, yeah, Johnny Cash, another person that unfortunately, we're never going to get to see. And we have his music and whatever, so.
Yeah, you got Walk the Line, you got...
Also Prison Blues.
Yeah.
A Boy Named Sue.
Dude, yeah. What's that one where he goes, I saw a man in Memphis just to watch him die?
No, that's Folsom Prison Blues.
Oh, okay.
And it's Reno.
Reno, yeah, or...
Foul!
Reno just watch him die, yeah.
But still, another legend.
Yeah, this next one for me is an interesting one. I put it in here really because, like, I'm not really too familiar with all of his music. Some of his music I've heard before. There's one song that I heard a few years ago that I really liked. And you want to talk about Alice Cooper having an influence on guys like Rob Zombie and who else did you say?
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson and stuff like that. How about Ozzy Osbourne?
Oh, yeah. The Prince of Darkness himself. Shit. Yeah, Ozzy, another one that... surprising that he's still alive.
No fucking kidding.
This guy is probably a legend in the heavy metal hard rock community.
Oh yeah.
You got this guy who fronted Black Sabbath for a decade and then leaving and doing his solo act. And it was like, yeah, you know what? This guy fucking... without fucking Black Sabbath, there will be no Motorhead, or Judas Priest, or Metallica. Everybody has to bow down to Black Sabbath and Ozzy, because Ozzy definitely paved the way for all those people. And, even in his solo act, you have Ozzy. You got Mr. Crowley, Bark at the Moon. You got Crazy Train, Suicide Solution, which is a controversial song, but that's not what it's about. The fact of the matter is, this guy definitely is a great musician, and it's kind of like, yeah, he's very lucky to be alive with all the shit that he did, but you look at what happened in the 90s when he and his wife Sharon decided to make Ozfest, a show for a concert for metal and rock, and then of course I think it was a few years ago that Download Festival was made by Sharon as well. But Ozzy also doing the Osbourne reality TV show.
Yes.
And he also did a show with his son Jack.
Yes.
The guy's been, I think, Oh, shit. No, he's been sober for a long time, so
Yeah.
it's kind of just very cool to see that. This guy definitely deserves to be a true legend, you know.
We talk about another singer or whatever doing every drug under the sun and still being around to kick it. Fuck it. I'm sure Ozzy's done all the drugs under the sun more than once, and he's still going.
I don't think he did heroin, but
Still,
he definitely, you know, biting a head off a bat, pissing on the Alamo. Well, actually, or so I thought, but whatever. The fact of the matter is, you know, this guy definitely, and also being a guy that was in WWE for
exactly.
doing WrestleMania 2, he did the guest host thing with his family.
With Sharon, at least.
Yeah. No, the whole family was there. Jack and Kelly. And then, of course, he performed I Don't Want to Stop.
That's the song that I really stands out to me that I actually like
Yeah,
of his.
it's a pretty cool song.
Yeah.
You know, you got the guy who introduced one of the greatest guitar players, Randy Rhoads, who passed away before his time. And then Zakk Wylde, who often went and did his own thing afterwards. But yeah, Ozzy definitely is one of the greatest musicians, and because the fact that he survived a lot, you know, of his bullshit, maybe.
Yeah.
But well, we're gonna head down to the Ramones, one of the pioneers of punk rock. And when I was, you know, a kid, someone was a fan of them and introduced me to them, and I thought they were just an 80s band, like AC/DC, but no, they actually started in the 70s. Of course, that makes a lot of sense because they were kids, and punk rock is mainly just like a genre for angst and, you know, you're pissed off at the world and all that other shit. And, you know, they are one of the best punk bands out there coming from New York. You know, they had some lineup changes as well. And Joey Ramone died in 2001. You know, after that it was Johnny, and most recently Tommy Ramone, the original drummer, passed away. You know, these guys influenced a lot of other bands as well. Not just punk bands, but, you know, Rob Zombie, Motley Crue, fucking Metallica. You know, these guys definitely are and always will be one of the best punk bands there are. And that's just a fact.
Damn straight. Next for me, I put this one on just because I really like the music. There's a number of songs that I really enjoy, and maybe not necessarily rock or metal or punk rock or anything like that. Just an overall well-rounded singer. Now, maybe not necessarily classified as a band per se, but still really good. Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bon Jovi really fell under the hard rock scene in the 80s.
Yeah.
He had the big hair and everything like that. A guy who eventually just turned into, I guess, country music and the late 90s or whenever,
Yeah.
his genre just drastically changed.
Yeah.
But it's very cool, you know, just to see that. And yeah, I think Bon Jovi definitely. I like his music.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big fan of country, so I haven't really heard too much of that. Maybe I should start, but no, there's another guy who definitely was one of the greats.
Oh, yeah.
As far as arena rock in that era, you know, not necessarily a metal band or a rock band, but it's kind of like, I don't know what you would classify him as.
Yeah.
Definitely his tastes kind of changed through the years.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you got Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
You got
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive, yes.
I remember.
And then just a couple, anyways.
Yeah. What was that Bon Jovi song? Was it Living on a Prayer?
I forget the name. I can't remember what it's called. But goes shot through the heart. And
You Give Love a Bad Name.
Yeah.
That's the one it was.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about. We're getting pretty close to the end.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about the 8-piece band. Roughly, I think it's from Des Moines, Iowa. You've got Slipknot. You see me wearing my Slipknot shirt. You obviously know I'm a big fan of theirs.
Yes.
And Slipknot is just one of those bands that kind of really paved the way for new metal slash shock rock. And, you know, it's one of those bands that, yeah, they wear masks, and it's a symbol, obviously, and they really put on a really good show, like Kiss before them, or Alice Cooper. These guys really know how to fucking put on a show. And started in 95, interestingly enough, was not fronted by Corey Taylor until 99. I can't remember the guy's name, but it was basically that Corey Taylor who started Stone Sour. And yeah, Slipknot definitely, one of the best new metal artists, or whatever you want to call them. They're still one of the best metal bands there are nowadays. And yeah, each time they put out a record. In fact, I did a review on one of their latest ones, and it sounded a lot more like an old school record than any other ones that they've put out. But yeah, very interesting band, a very unique look. You know, they definitely had their issues back in the day. Corey Taylor's basically, I think he said he's 15 years sober. I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, definitely a very cool band, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like I said, I, of course, had Motorhead on my list. So I was quickly trying to come up with a group that I can talk somewhat about. I was scrambling through my head, and then this popped in my head. We'll give it a shot, see where it goes. POD.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely popular. Actually, there was another band that started in the early 90s, but I don't remember really listening to them or knowing of them until like 2002.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, there's a band that is of the new metal genre, I guess. And they don't really they can sing about like abuse and
Yeah.
you know, homelessness without using profanity
Yes.
like most
Yeah.
new metal artists. But you know, another great, I can't say great, but another great band, you know.
Yeah.
You talk about WWE, and a lot of these bands definitely performed in WWE, and POD was the one band that performed Rey Mysterio's new music
Yes.
at the time. So they're a pretty cool band, you know. Definitely one of those bands that you could probably classify as Christian rock, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they did Click Click Boom. They did
Oh yeah.
We Are the Youth of a Nation.
Oh yeah.
I think they did do a song for WWE, but I can't remember which one it was.
I was thinking for Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but pretty sure they definitely did a song for them at some point. But who knows? Yeah, POD is pretty cool. Like, I haven't heard anything from them for years.
I know.
So I'm not sure where they're at.